today with Animal Friends. Today we're going to be sharing our second chance stories, and we're going to be talking about the story of Dozy. Hi everyone, thank you for joining us today. Would you mind introducing yourself for our audience?
Yes, I'm Sam Goodell. I'm the president of Animal Friends of Wyoming County, but I'm also the animal control deputy for Wyoming County.
Hi, I'm Heather. I'm Dozy's adoptive mother, and I also volunteer here at the shelter 3 days a week.
Heather, can you tell us a little bit more about your story and how you came to know Dozy and how you decided that she would be a good fit or you would be a good fit for each other?
Well, Dozy, I think, picked me, well, more than I picked her. She had come here to the shelter. She was a surrender. There was suspected that at one point she had been abused. She was very growly in her pen, and she obviously was not feeling well. And we found out that she had several types of worms so badly that to the extent that the vet could not understand how she was still walking. Well, I just looked at her and I thought, that poor dog. And I asked just if I could sit in the pen with her, and she said yes. And I sat in the pen, and Dozy sat on my lap. And that was the end of that. So Dozy came. Fortunately, at that point, Dozy had been adopted by someone else. But unfortunately for them, they had a wife had fallen, and the husband didn't feel he could take care of the wife and the dog at the same time. And I said, give me the papers, and I went and got her licensed, and she became mine that day.
That's wonderful. Sam, do you remember when Dozy first came in, and can you share any of your perspective on that?
Yeah, so at that time, when Dozy first came in, I wasn't animal control deputy. I was just a volunteer and part of Animal Friends. And the particular day that Dozy came in that time period, I don't think I was here at the shelter that time, but I do remember her stay here at the shelter, and she was, just as Heather had described her, she definitely needed some more TLC and love, and it was pretty evident that she had been through something tragic in her life, and especially with her mannerisms. But what I can attest to is what she's done since the shelter, and that has been an amazing support, both emotionally for the staff and for volunteers and for the dogs here at the animal shelter with helping them come out of their shell. She's a star example of an adoption.
Can you also share a little bit about Animal Friends and how Animal Friends supports dogs like Dozy, getting them ready to go out for adoption?
Yes, certainly. So, Animal Friends of Wyoming County, the main mission of Animal Friends is to help these dogs at the animal shelter for more successful adoptions through programs like Spay Our Stray, which Dozy was enrolled in. Dozy actually was also featured in the same calendar of the year that she was adopted, or the following year, I should say. So she got to really get highlighted as an example of what Animal Friends can do, and through your donations. So she was able to get her spay procedure by Animal Friends, microchip, I believe microchip was at that time, and any other vaccines that she needed and treatments while she was under the care of dog control.
Wonderful. Anything else you'd want to share about your story, Heather?
I would. Thank you. I love bragging about my dog. So Dozy has been a wonderful companion for me. And she, as I'm retired and I volunteer at the shelter 3 days a week, she is used to help volunteers learn how to walk with the dogs on the leash. We use her in pack walks. I've used her to test to see how other dogs would get along with her. We also have a program on Wednesdays where adults with developmental disabilities come to the shelter and work directly with the dogs, and I can trust Dozy to go with any one of our clients and work with them. She walks really well with them. She was a work in progress, though, when I first got her. Anybody that she would walk up to, she would growl at, and that was her way of saying hello. And even here at the shelter, where she loved everybody. And now she will go up to most anybody and just want to be loved, as you can see. She is spoiled rotten, as every one of our adoptive dogs should be. And I'm in a unique position because she can come and volunteer at the shelter. And she does a great job and will go. I use her even with little kids who come and want to learn about the shelter. She will walk right along with them with no problem. So she really is a joy to have. And she's very smart. And one of the joys of having a dog adopted, an older dog, because she was like 2 or 3 when I got her, is that all of the problems are taken care of. She was house trained. She already knew tricks. So there was nothing that I really had to do with her other than just keep reinforcing the fact that she's a very good girl. Hi, Dozy. Thank you.
Well, I just want to say thank you to you both for volunteering your time, coming back, and continuing to pay that forward, and to Dozy. Sam, is there any other thoughts you have?
Just to reiterate what Heather said, that's been a blessing for us here at the animal shelter is a dog like Dozy. Between Dozy and Officer Goodell's dog, Charlotte, they really have helped these dogs come out of their shell at the shelter and help people that come into the shelter that might not be too familiar with dogs or fearful of dogs. They're great examples to show you can pet them, it's okay. And Dozy's story, like what Heather already explained of her having that hello growl, also shows how their behavior can change, and you can work with a dog that might be a little temperamental when they come in, but most of the time they're just stressed, they have anxiety, they don't know why they're at an animal shelter, and they just need some time and love and care. And so Dozy's a great example of all those things.
Well, thank you all for sharing your story, and thank you to Dozy for being such a good girl.
Thank you for having us.